Now there is one more problem called as unrepeatable read problem or non-repeatable read problem. I'll show you what it means. Is let us assume that initial value of A is 20,000. Okay, and let's say A has T1 has read the value of A, which means at this point T1 will see that A's value is 20,000. Okay, and then after T1 has read, T2 is going to read the value of A. At this point A is going to see that A's value is 20,000, and now T2 is going to modify A by subtracting 15,000 from 20,000. If you subtract 15,000, it is going to be 5,000, right? Therefore A value here will be 5,000, right? And now it is going to write it back. Write it back means the original copy has been modified now, right? The original copy which is present in the database is now modified to 5,000. See, whenever I modify the original copy, it doesn't mean that it is permanent. If the transaction rolls back, there is still a probability that you might have to get back to the original previous value, right? Okay, fine. So now here write is going to make this as 5,000. Now again, if it tries to read the value here, it is going to see that the value is 5,000, right? See this, according to the transaction T1, it didn't do any modifications to A, but it is seeing that one time when it read it, it is to 20,000, and next time immediately when it reads it, it is going to be 5,000, right? Therefore the data has changed without the involvement of any operation from T1, right? Now this is actually T1 should get an effect as if it is running in isolation, but then it is as if some other transaction is also having an effect on the values which are seen by T2, right? Therefore it is a problem. Now this problem is also called as read-write conflict. If you see this, there is a read-write conflict here, right? So there is read operation on data item A, and again there is a write operation on data item A, right? So whenever you have such a problem, right, you are going to see the different copies. Got it? So why did this problem occur? Because after reading, someone is going to change the value you read, and they are changing the value original copy also. That is why you are going to see this problem. Okay, now let's look at the other problem. Now this is called as phantom tuple problem. So what is phantom tuple problem is, now assume that we have in our database we have a table, employee table, with two tuples. So these are the attributes, and the tuples are like this: 1A 5,000, 3C 4,000, right? And now when you are trying to see who are all the employees who are having salary more than 3,000, then you got that these two are going to be the output, right? Okay, that is what this transaction has done. Now later on the other side, some other transaction has started, and there is an interleaving between these two, which means after executing this transaction, this query, someone has started one more transaction, and this transaction is just inserting a new row into the table. Now because of the insertion of the new row, now the table will become like this. Earlier the table was having only 2 rows, now the table is having 3 rows, right? Now after this, if the transaction again does the same thing, and it is going to see different values, right? Now it is going to see 3 tuples, which means for this transaction it didn't do anything. It is asking the same query 2 times, and 2 times you are getting 2 different answers, right? Now again, what is it? This transaction is having an effect from the execution of the other transaction, but then that should not happen, right? So every transaction should execute as if it is executing in isolation, but then it is some other transaction's actions or the operations are having an effect on this transaction, right? So that is why it is a problem. Now this problem is also called as phantom tuple or phantom phenomenon. Okay, fine.